The Alabama Farmers Federation and the Alabama Farmers Cooperative proudly present Simply Southern with Mary Wilson.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in for Simply Southern. I'm Mary Wilson. For the last few weeks, we've been going back over stories from 6 seasons of the show. We've already revisited some of the great events, places, and people we featured previously, but today will be devoted to our furry and feathered friends. Man's best friend is exemplified in Sue the farm dog. She keeps both cattle and humans in line on her Chambers County farm. We'll meet the 2019 People's Choice Farm Dog of the Year later in the show. I'm sure you've heard of goat yoga, but one farm down in Bowen County has a different play on the animal-assisted exercise. And while animals can make a workout more fun, the positive effect a dog, a cat, or even a goat can have on people is what inspired the start of a unique Birmingham charitable organization. But up next on today's Simply Southern Animal Anthology, we'll bring you an outdoor excursion from Season 3, when we tagged along on a squirrel hunt with an enthusiastic group of bird lovers.
What sustains us? Food? Family? Faith. Alabama farmers live those things every day. They conserve our resources, clothe our families, and fill our tables. They cultivate jobs for our communities and values for our future. Farmers grow it all, right here in Alabama.
There's no such thing as downtime when you own a farm. This is your land. You tend it and try to get the most from it, no matter the weather or time of day. It's been that way for generations. And for generations, your local quality co-op store has been there for you, with a full range of agriculture supplies and services, from feed to fertilizer, seed to grain storage, and the right hardware for any application. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
A predatory bird is a patient, graceful hunter. Their speed, superior eyesight, and aerial perspective allow for advantages few land-bound rivals can match. Throw in a noisy pack of human assistants scaring the prey up a tree, and hunting just doesn't get any easier.
You know what'll make you appreciate all those wildlife programs you watched growing up? Trying to film a fast-moving brown bird in the woods hunting squirrels. Just look what it did to our poor cameraman. Falconry probably summons up images of bygone nobility on horseback, their winged hunting companions proudly perched on their rich leather glove. That's usually how it shows up in the movies anyway, and for much of its history, hunting with predatory birds has been a sport of wealth and prestige. But this isn't 17th century Europe. This is Alabama, and we tend to be a little less fancy.
Come on, birds, up! We're the squirrel dogs, yep. We pull vines, knock on the trees, anything we can do to get the squirrel moving and keep them in the tree.
Welcome to the annual meet of the Alabama Hawking Association, a group of guys and gals who are spreading the passion for this ancient art throughout the state. Today, they've joined up with the North American Falconers Association for a good old southern squirrel hunt, a bit of a novelty for bird enthusiasts hailing from around the country.
This is the first time we've done anything with NAFA. It's their Southeastern Regional Meet, is what's going on with ours today. So we bundled them together this year. They hadn't done squirrel hawking for one of their meets in a while, or at all. I'm not even sure if they've done one at all.
Despite the name, the sport of falconry is not limited to just falcons, though they have been known to make an appearance. Eagles, hawks, and even owls are commonly used to hunt a wide variety of game, from rabbits and squirrels to even foxes and wolves. But at today's meet, the familiar red-tailed hawk seems to be the favorite.
Everyday squirrel hunting like this, I like the red tail. The red tails are usually quick, quick, quick. You know, let's get in there, get it, and get done. Get in there, get it, get done.
This is Wilson. Say something, Wilson. Hello.
These aren't duck dogs. In the world of falconry, hunting is for the birds. After being released, a hawk seeks out its prey as if there weren't a group of happy maniacs shouting and banging on trees down below.
We do that to try more to keep the squirrels moving than to get If the bird's not paying attention to us and we start yelling, a lot of times they'll come in and they'll start, oh, hey, something's going on over there. Let me go see what's going on. The birds fly with bells, so you can hear where they are. You want to be able to find her in the trees. Once she lands in those trees, you would be surprised how well they blend in. The birds get what they catch. They eat what they catch. The more they catch, the more they eat.
Becoming a falconer requires a short apprenticeship and a small licensing fee. There is, of course, the small matter of getting yourself a bird, but that's not necessarily as difficult as it sounds.
Basically, you have a little cage, probably about this big and about that tall, and it's got slip knots on top. You take that out, you drive around until you see a bird you want. You put a rat or a mouse inside the cage and you throw it out the window. And the bird comes down to catch the rat and gets hung up in the slip knots, and you just run over and pick them up, in theory.
After trapping a bird, training a new hunting companion to perform simple tasks like sitting on a glove, on up to returning to its owner after the hunt, is all a matter of time and food rewards. With enough work, a bird can be ready to head out into the woods faster than you'd think.
It'll take about 10 days to have them out free flying from the day you trap them. Some people go a month, maybe 2 months if they're not sure or they don't trust themselves or the bird.
While I don't think I'm ready to go cage myself an angry hawk, I have to admit, falconry is pretty fun. These folks' love for their birds is obvious, and there's something about running through the woods screaming at squirrels that just brings people together.
There's some people that just like hanging out with the birds. They like being in the woods. They do it more for the nature aspect. They just want to be outside. But for me, it's mostly the chase and the catch, if we get lucky enough. There's a lot of camaraderie with this. We're a tight group of people. A lot of us will travel just to hang out with the people that we met through this sport, because we're a pretty rare breed,
Kind of puts a different spin on your traditional bird watching, don't you think? If our visit with the Alabama Hawking Association intrigued you, alabamafalconry.com is a website you're gonna want to check out. Something else you're gonna want to check out is coming up next, as animals and exercise come together for a very unusual undertaking at a South Alabama farm.
Wear long pants, long sleeve shirts, and closed-toed shoes. Don't be ticked. Use repellents with 20% DEET on skin and 0.5% permethrin on gear and clothing. Don't be ticked. Avoid sitting on rotten logs or stumps. Don't be ticked. Protect yourself from serious tick-borne illnesses and seek timely treatment to prevent long-term problems. No hunters were angered in the making of this film.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
Soybean is a very versatile product. We make crayons out of it.
A lot of the combines you see rolling through the fields have a lot of plastic side panels that are made from a soy product.
The soybeans that we grow on our farm mostly goes into chicken feed.
Soybean production in Alabama employs over 10,000 people.
We grow some of the best soybeans in the world.
We go the extra mile to make sure when our name is stamped on it, we know it's the best product we can produce.
Some of the best things in life start with a bundle. And some of them can actually save you money. Like when you bundle your auto and life insurance with Alpha. Protect what's important to you at a price you can afford.
All for a better life.
Alpha Insurance.
All for a better life.
Ask your local agent about Alpha's Auto Life discount.
In Season 5, we visited Humming Star Farms in Baldwin County, home to an interesting spin on agritourism. No, it's not their nice little gift store filled with charming handicrafts, and there's no corn crib or pumpkin patch to play in. What you can find at Andy and Cheryl Bowen's South Alabama farm is a very popular yoga class, where the local livestock are the main attraction.
In a yoga class, you expect to hear references to animals with moves like upward dog and the cat and the cow. But an alpaca? No, it's not a new neck-stretching yoga move. It's an event that's become a huge hit for the owners of Humming Star Farm in Silver Hill, Alabama.
It made sense to me about the zen of yoga and the zen of the animals mating together. And so I thought, well, you know, we'll try it. You know, if it works, fine. If it doesn't, then but everybody seems to love it, and they love being around the alpacas anyway.
Alpacas pair well with yoga because they're very peaceful animals, and so we gave it a try. And when I posted it on Facebook for our first class, it sold out within just like 24 hours, and we've been doing it, and the alpacas like it, and everyone likes it, so we're having fun with it.
The idea for alpaca yoga developed thanks to Cheryl's friendship with yoga instructor Joy Rose Larsen, who was looking for a different take on the current trend of goat yoga. And there are some benefits to exercising around alpacas instead of goats.
They can't bite you really, and they won't jump on you. It's kind of a little happy hour with people and the alpacas in the beginning, and then we start to get back to our mats. And of course, everybody can step away from their practice to take a picture if there's an animal eating out of their hand. You know, it's kind of a free-form thing.
While country folk might raise their eyebrows about the idea, alpaca yoga is proving to be a big hit.
All our classes have been filled with a waiting list, and so we've had a good response. Interestingly, from people who practice yoga, but also people who don't really practice that much.
We've actually had a family from New Orleans come, and a number from Pensacola, Florida. We've had people from Pensacola, Florida in each class.
So, what exactly is it about alpacas that has people clamoring to be included?
You'd get a breeze of air. I mean, the sky was gorgeous, and then on top of that, to have the alpacas walking around, I mean, it's just amazing. I would do it every day. It's just more of a peaceful thing, I think, which is what you try to get from yoga anyway. So just to be out in nature and the peacefulness of that while you're doing the yoga, I think it's just a plus.
They're like big, fluffy, live, stuffed animals. They're light on their feet, they hop around, they're curious, they're interested, and they're soft. They're magical.
You're in an open field, you know, getting very in touch with yourself and your own, you know, your own inner soul, and then here comes these alpacas that are eating grains. They're literally right next to your face, and they're beautiful animals, and they're very interesting.
Of course, when communing with nature, sometimes nature calls.
They're taller creatures, so when they pee, it's like a faucet, you know. I mean, it's very noisy, but it was never around us. It was always like in the distance that they would go and relieve themselves.
Another plus to alpaca yoga over goat yoga. But if tree poses and stretches aren't exactly your thing, you can simply visit the farm store, which has numerous items made from alpaca wool or fleece. The Bowens also host special events like fiber arts classes and an annual farm day.
This teaches people about farming and what it is we do with the animals, and how you go from an alpaca with a fleece on them to having yourself a nice pair of socks or a hat or a sweater or something like that.
And while educating people about farming is important, the Bowens are also providing memorable experiences that will keep visitors coming back.
I've learned a lot of facts about alpacas while I was here, but the experience that I had was it was one of the best things I've ever done. So definitely have to come do it, definitely, everybody.
I'm not sure a lot of yoga was accomplished, but I am sure many wonderful selfies had appeared on Facebook by the time the class ended. Speaking of Facebook, stop by the Bowens Facebook page at facebook.com/Humming Star Alpacas for more information on their alpaca yoga classes and some great products made from alpaca fiber. Next on Simply Southern, our critter compilation returns to less exotic territory as we visit with a dog named Sue.
A farmer has to live on faith. We do all we can do, but we can only control so much.
Alabama is the second largest poultry growing state in the nation, so we're trying our best to grow all the corn we can for that.
What we produce not only feeds and clothes all of the United States, but about half of what we make goes on to the world market.
We've been able to improve yields, have some things that can help us produce a better crop. I'm proud of the product we make and proud that I can say I'm an Alabama farmer.
Farm Bureau Bank has built its entire existence around the lifestyle and needs of farmers and ranchers across America. We're here to help grow traditions, give back to agricultural communities, and offer financial convenience for your unique way of life. From sunup to sundown, we are committed to serving you.
I take pride in the product that we produce as a catfish farmer. Hi, I'm Willard Poe, and I'm the 2019 Alabama Catfish Farmer of the Year. When I go out to a restaurant and see people eating U.S. farm-raised catfish, that gives you a sense of pride and a sense of joy, knowing that you have produced a product that other people enjoy. Other people love to go out and eat.
A cattle dog is one hard-working pooch. Trying to rustle up a herd of cows, each weighing nearly a ton, would send most of us to bed early. But for Sue, she's ready to hit the town. In Season 6 of Simply Southern, we paid a visit to Phil Slay's Chambers County farm to see just what made his canine companion the people's choice for Farm Dog of the Year.
Phil Slay is a 7th-generation farmer in Chambers County, raising beef cattle, sheep, and greenhouse tomatoes. Compared to many others in the state, his operation is small, so most days he makes up the entire workforce. But he rarely works alone.
I've got one pasture's got about 80 mama cows in it, and me and her and a horse can get all them 80 mama cows and their calves up without no problem at all. When we sell our cattle in truckload lots every year, and the same truck driver's been here for about 4 years in a row, and when he calls me to line up when he comes to pick it up, I want to know what time Sue's going to be there to load his cattle, because she loads them all up.
Before Sue, the Slays had used border collies to herd their livestock. They are trained using very specific commands to get them to perform different tasks. Phil says Sue is a little more basic than that.
Kim will say away or come by, and Sue will look up at her and say, I don't know that. And all I got to do is snap my fingers and point and hold my hands up certain ways, and she just learned from that. I can't really explain that other than it was just built in her. I mean, she was born with it.
Besides being his farming partner, Phil says Sue is also his therapist because she listens when they're riding down the road together and doesn't judge. But when they're making their weekly tomato deliveries, Sue switches to her other job as the farm's director of public relations.
Well, they usually say, Sue, how are you doing today? How many tomatoes you got today, Sue? They don't ever acknowledge me when Sue comes up. When me and Sue come up, she gets all the attention, which is all right with me.
Because of her work on and off the farm, Phil and his wife Kim thought she was a shoo-in to win the American Farm Bureau's Farm Dog of the Year contest. Well, she came in second to a dog from Utah. But what the Slays are most proud of is that Sue far surpassed all the other dogs when she was named People's Choice in a national social media campaign.
Sue is a very versatile dog. She's the barrel racing dog. She's the go to the livestock showing dog. She sit on the volleyball bench with a uniform on with our team dog. She works the gates. She goes to, we have sheriff's department, we have special needs rodeos. She works those. She works Valley Haven, Family Day on the farm. We're in a small community, and so people know Sue, so they voted and asked their friends to vote, and it just spread.
Sue's worked with Phil for 8 years. 4 years ago, Kim returned to the farm when she quit teaching school full-time. But she says Sue has had a little trouble adjusting to her new position on the truck seat.
And so we fought over the window, and she gives me a little more room now, but still it's a fight. I have to race to the truck. It's almost like little kids racing to see who gets the window seat, and it's still an ongoing battle. And if the house caught on fire, I don't know which one he would go for to get out first. I'm just saying.
I tell everybody that I love her more than I do my wife. You don't have to put that on there, but But the other day I put them in the trunk. I put Sue in the trunk and Kim in the trunk and rolled them around and opened the trunk up, and Sue was glad to see me. She licked me, but Kim still ain't spoke to me.
For Simply Southern, I'm Kevin Worthington.
You can find more features on farming stories like Sue the Farm Dog, plus a wealth of news and information at your one-stop resource for all things agricultural, the Alabama Farmers Federation's website. That's at alphafarmers.org. Plus, get the most up-to-date information by following the Alabama Farmers Federation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. After the break, our Assembly of Simply Southern Animal alumni wraps up with our 2017 visit to Birmingham's creature comfort specialists, Hand and Paw.
There's nothing quite like sitting down to a home-cooked meal with fresh vegetables from the garden. With Bonnie plants from your local quality co-op store, you can enjoy the freshest vegetables right from your own backyard. And no matter if you're a raised bed gardener, a rose gardener, or if you farm hundreds of acres, your quality co-op store has exactly what you need to get the most out of your plants. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
The versatile peanut, meat of the earth, friend of the soil, tasty, nutritious, packed with protein. And Alabama peanut farmers nourish some very special things: families, communities, and Alabama's economy. Peanuts. Good for you, good for Alabama.
For more Simply Southern, be sure to follow us on social media. And while you're online, visit our website, simplysouthern.tv.net. Simply Southern will continue in a moment.
We believe a plant should be more than a plant. This one is. It's all you need for your garden to succeed, because it's a Bonnie plant. It represents hundreds of varieties of Bonnie's quality veggies and herbs. But more, it's from generations of Bonnie people who are passionate about sharing their love of gardening with you. Look for this little Bonnie plant and a whole family of plants like it in your garden center. Bonnie plants, so you'll know how to grow.
Has a wagging tail made you forget a rough day on the job? Does a furry, whiskery face help you fend off a case of the blues? You're not the only one who's noticed the healing power of pets. In fact, a Birmingham nonprofit has channeled the therapeutic effects of animal affection to bring comfort to a variety of people facing hard times.
Meet Flanders. He's a therapy goat at Hand and Paw, a volunteer-powered organization that employs animals to bring happiness and comfort to those dealing with hardship.
I call it goat love, and you can see it. I mean, people just stop and their faces light up.
Hand and Paw is an animal-assisted therapy provider. Whether it's in the hospital bed of a child fighting serious illness, a school counselor's office, or at a nursing home, these four-legged volunteers often have an impact when standard treatments fall short.
In all cases, the animals serve to calm, to motivate, and kind of be a catalyst for change, for positive change. And it's all kind of built on the idea that as humans, we have an innate desire to connect with other forms of life.
Founded in 1996, Hand and Paw is the realization of Beth Franklin, who had witnessed the healing power of animals as the director of the Greater Birmingham Humane Society.
I went to a conference in Arizona, and at that conference became a licensed evaluator. And with that, saw more and more that how much I loved the animal-assisted therapy and how many applications there were, and felt like it needed its own organization. So I left the Humane Society, sold my home, and took the money and invested it in Hand and Paw. The first facility we went into with Hand and Paw was the UAB Comprehensive Cancer Center, and we worked with children with cancer. And then the next year we got into Children's Hospital of Alabama. We go into a lot of different units. Being able to put the animals in the bed with the children makes a major difference.
Hand and Paw is best known for their work in healthcare settings, but their programs offer assistance for issues ranging from learning disabilities and character building programs to victims dealing with traumatic circumstances. At the foundation of all of these are the teams of volunteer pets, handlers, and owners sharing their love for their furry friends.
They have this love for their animal and being able to share that with others. The volunteers tell me and us that they get more out of this than the people that they're visiting.
While Hand and Paw is always looking for volunteers, there's a lot more that goes into lending a paw than just a wagging tail.
We do some tests to see if the animal and the person are going to be the right fit to go into these different situations. Is the animal going to turn to their person when a tray drops, when a kid pulls the tail or pulls an ear, and not react to that situation? So we're going to role play and simulate some of those things.
But for the volunteers, all the preparation and time doesn't begin to equal the satisfaction of seeing the response their pets get.
We have been to a nursing home, which was interesting. They really, it's like they all thought he was a dog, and it was like, bring that dog closer. And this is when he was about 25 pounds, so I was having to pick him up, take him bed to bed to bed. And once I get him in his face, they're like, oh, so I go, It's fun, it's special, you're giving back to the people that really need something.
They see smiles when smiles haven't been seen. They hear laughter on floors in hospital units where, nurses and other staff and family members tell them, we haven't heard laughter. This is the first laugh we've heard in a long time.
Animals are unconditional love. There's a presence in the room when they come in that's hard to define. And I see them knowing who needs them most and them going to that person, or if someone really doesn't want to engage, them standing back. It's incredible and a privilege to work with them in those settings.
For Simply Southern, I'm Samantha Carpenter.
If you're interested in information on how you can help Hand and Paw and their animal friends with their mission, head over to handandpaw.org. You can also find them on Facebook. And while you're there, be sure to stop by the Simply Southern Facebook page as well. You can also stay up to date with the show by subscribing to the Simply Southern TV YouTube channel. And don't forget to check out our blog, which is updated every Sunday morning at 6 o'clock. Just visit simplysouthern.tv.net. We appreciate you coming along with us on this all-animal episode of Simply Southern. Next week, we'll dedicate our show to farming, focusing on some of the less traditional operations we've featured over the years. I'm Mary Wilson, and I hope to see you then.
Simply Southern is a production of the Alabama Farmers Cooperative and the Alabama Farmers Federation.